Masali to Yakoki for joining for this tune-up follow-along video. Now, our daily tune-up is the combination of 3 separate routines that all synergize together to promote health and longevity and help us deal with all sorts of different ailments and issues that we might be dealing with, or to prevent them from ever occurring. So, as we're going through this, just a quick safety note. We're going to be moving our joints around. We're going to be testing our balance and tuning that up. No matter what you do, go easy. This is more of a daily hygiene than a workout. So we don't brush the enamel off of our teeth. We're not going to scrub our skin off in the shower. We're not going to wear ourselves out doing the tune-up. We just do our hygiene routine, tune up your body first thing in the morning, and go on about your day. The value in this is pinging together days and weeks and months and years of doing a little bit of this routine often. That's where we'll build the most results. So as we're going through this, I want you to move your joints only where they feel safe and happy to go. If you have a little bit of pain at the onset, but each subsequent rep that pain goes down, then gently you can keep going, make the movement a little bit smaller, find pain-free movement and move. If, however, as you move, as you're doing any of these routines, the pain increases, stop, relax, come back and try again tomorrow. If the pain persists, go and see your doctor, get that evaluated, find out if there's something deeper going on, okay? So we're gonna begin with a series of movements called the Zen 10. It's designed to tune up our balance. It was invented by David Weck, the inventor of the Bosu ball here, and his original routine has you complete this standing on the Bosu ball. And if you can work up to that, your balance will be incredible. But we have found lots of benefit of doing it without the Bosu ball. We don't need the piece of equipment to get started. We just need our feet. So here we go. This is the Zen 10. Checking in on our feet to begin with. You take a big breath. Exhale, relax. Let your mind sink down into your feet. Let all the tension in your body go down into the floor, and we're building connection to where exactly is your center of gravity. Heels to toes, maybe inside, outside of the feet. Neither is right or wrong. We're just feeling for a moment, breathing. Let your mind quiet down, the Zen part, and then 10 moves. However far your joints feel happy to go, we're going to start looking around. You can close down the eyes for an additional challenge. And we have a chair here just in case you need any kind of assistance as you're finding this. A little touchstone can make a big difference. So you're meditating, you're feeling your feet, we're standing tall, maybe with slightly soft knees, and then feel, does your center of gravity move around as you turn your head and look over one side? Focus on those feet. Where's your balance? Come back through center and look over the other side. And then we're going to come back to neutral. That's number 1 and 2 of 10. Then we'll look down, tuck your chin a little bit, maybe open up the back of the neck. That's number 3, and then stay tall while you look up. That's number 4. Once you come back to neutral, we're going to shift our weight into one foot, maybe 51% of your weight over in this foot, maybe 100% of your weight in this foot. Only go as far as you can control, right up until you feel like you're fighting for your balance, but not until you lose it. And after you get one side, go ahead and shift over into the other side. That's number 6 over here, sliding our weight, just feeling that foot spread into the ground to accommodate our body weight, moving into it. Right, and then come back to even across both feet. All right, now we're going to, with the eyes, whether they're open or closed, look to the side with your eyeballs first, and then your head, and then your shoulders. Looking over shoulder if you can, maybe like backing up the car. And then we'll come back and we'll look the other way with our eyes first, then the head, then the shoulders, look over shoulder, and back to neutral. Then we're going to march in place. That's number 9, a little bit of marching. Feel the kind of cross-body connection happening between your fingers and your toes across your body. Everything is one piece. We want to feel that start to connect. And then feet come back to stillness, and we're going to go for what we call a fake jump. Sometimes we call it landing practice. Once you build up to the Bosu ball, you can even come all the way off the ground like the original Zen 10. But in our experience, what we want is to go down into soft knees. Feel the soft knees, the hips, the knees all work together. We come up just a little bit and exaggerate the way down. We want to feel a moment of lightness in our inner ear and then land soft. It's landing practice. So a few of those, eyes open or closed. You can come off of your heels, but keep the toes on the ground. Only go as far as you feel comfortable. Make it smaller, and if it hurts, don't do it. All right? So that's the Zen 10. That tunes up our balance, gets our inner ear to start working with the bottom of our feet. And that's what we want to do first thing in the morning, several times throughout the day. We're going to practice this. So next up, we have a routine called the Big Six, and it is all about getting our lymphatic system moving. The lymphatic system is the body's sewer system, and there's just junk that accumulates every day that needs to be flushed out. So between the Zen 10 and the Big Six, we're going to get a big drink of water. And then follow a series of rubbing and tapping in the big locations where the lymph accumulates. This routine was created by a guy named Dr. Perry Nicholson of Stop Chasing Pain. I cannot recommend his work enough. It's incredible. You can learn a lot from him. And this is the basics of keeping our lymphatic system moving as per Dr. Perry. So we're going to start out at the collarbones. That's one of six. We're going to take our hand above and below the collarbone. I'm going to kind of mime it here so that I don't make a lot of noise on my microphone. We're going to rub above and below that collarbone about 10 times and then tap, just like you're patting yourself on the back. The only way to do this wrong is to make it hurt when you do it. And we'll always do both sides. So you did one side collarbone, now we're going to rub the other side. Rub about 10 times and then tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Next up is the neck, kind of right behind your earlobe. And we can do both sides at the same time. Give that a rub about 10 times. 8, 9, 10. And then tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next up is the armpit, right in the corner of the arm. You can open up the arm a little bit. Right there where the pec tendon goes into the upper arm there. Give that a rub 10 times and then tap. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we'll always do both sides. So then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, that is location number 3. Then we'll go to the belly from top to bottom. Just going to rub the whole belly, rub it around, get those organs moving a little bit. 8, 9, about 10 times, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, next up is the hip crease. Right where your pants fold when you go to sit down. This is a big choke point for nerve and lymph and blood flow. We want to get that moving around. So rub there about 10 times and then tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Lastly, the back of the knees. And if this one gives you any kind of issues with your low back whatsoever, sit down to do this one. We'll push our hips back, put our hands down to the back of our knees, give that a rub. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do them in order and don't cause pain while you do it, and you're going to be in good shape. Then we finish the Big Six with what is called self-rebounding, where we get as loose as we can, spaghetti noodle arms, and we're just going to bounce. Easy bouncing, not coming off the ground at all, just feeling as relaxed as we can. Breathe, feel all the water in your body moving around. That is what we want with the Big Six. All right. 2 out of 3 done. Now we're going to move on to a routine that I have adapted out of a book by Pavel Tsatsouline called Super Joints. And it is all based on the principle that Our joints are maintained by movement. And if we move our joints through their full range of motion, whatever you have access to today, and we do that every day, and we find a routine where we can do that every day, we will maintain our range of motion and our joint health throughout our life. So some of these moves echo with the Zen 10, but this time, instead of focusing on primarily our feet and where our balance is, we're going to be putting our mind into our joints, starting with the neck. So the first move is called 3-plane neck. The first plane is to look down, tuck your chin a little bit, and then stay tall while you look up. And then you come back to neutral and look down again, tucking the chin. Stay tall while you look up. I'm going to do about 10 repetitions for each of these moves just to demonstrate. I recommend starting with between 1 and 5. Again, don't brush the enamel off of your teeth, right? Take it easy on these. We're not slamming into the end range. We're just finding some movement and moving. So looking down, looking up, that's the first plane. That's probably 8 or 9. And again, the specific numbers do not matter. We're aiming to do more repetitions over time, but the emphasis is on practicing every single day. So number 2, looking left and right, right? This is still in 3-plane neck. This is plane number 2. Look left and right, feel all those neck bones swivel. Feel all the little muscles that animate them. Left and right is 1 repetition, and again, only do maybe 1, maybe up to 5 as you're starting. And if you feel more sore the next day than you felt today, then maybe do fewer reps. We're always trying to find that sweet spot of activity. So once you get back to neutral after looking left and right, the third plane of 3-plane neck is to tilt. We're going to tilt our head over one side and then up and then tilt the other way. So as we do this, we're trying to feel our long side jaw going up toward the ceiling and the short side ear coming down towards the shoulder. And maybe you even look up slightly as you turn. Tilting, tilting. All right. Roughly 10. Do however many feel good. And when you get back to neutral, we're going to move on to our shoulder joints, starting with shoulder circles, taking our shoulders up and back and down and forward. All the way around. You can go fast or slow. You can alternate if you like. You can move them one over the other. However you do it, we're just going to roll the shoulders, and the shoulder joint is not just in the top of your sort of humerus right here. It's all the way across to your collarbone. It's everything going on with your shoulder blade back here. So get in touch with all of that movement that's happening in there. Feel what's going on, and if you run into any snags or any pain, as always, make the movement smaller. And if it keeps hurting, if it hurts more as you go, stop, come back, try again tomorrow. So after you've gone one way a few times, go back the other way. We'll always go both directions with all of these moves. Going around, just rolling those shoulders. Okay, after our shoulder circles, we're going to start working from our fingertips back, starting with a move that we call fist open and close, where we're going to push our palms away, spread the fingers, open them up, maybe peel the fingers back, and then pull them in, gooseneck the wrists, curl them up. Sometimes we call this starfish hands and T-Rex arms, however you want to think about it. We're just taking our fingers and our wrists through their full range of motion to open and to close. All the way out and all the way back in is 1 repetition. That's probably 4 or 5 here for me. Just do however many feel appropriate for you on the day. And if you need much more than 10, by the time you get there, you probably have this routine memorized. You may not even need to pause the video. But if you do need to pause the video and do more repetitions, go ahead and do so. Next up, we're going to move to wrist rotations, where we're going to go to prayer hands, lace the fingers, and then we're going to roll the wrists a few times one way, and then a few times back the other way. And then something that I always like to do is relace your fingers. Notice which thumb and forefinger is on top and relace with the other hand, kind of starting the lace. And give it a few more rolls. Sometimes this feels like 2 brand new wrists. So we'll give those some rolls. One way and then go back the other way. All right. Next up, we're going to move up to our elbows with our elbow rotations. So bring our elbows to the sides. We're going to turn our palms away, palms up, pinkies toward the ceiling. That's going to close our elbows. And then we go palms away, palms down, thumbs toward the floor. That's going to open the elbows, taking them through their full range of motion. All the way up, pinkies high, all the way down, thumbs low is 1 repetition. Again, I'm going to go for around 10. But start with 1 to 5 per day. Mobilize the joints and move on. This is not a full workout. This is just a little bit of hygiene, a little bit of a tune-up. Although some of my clients, many of my clients, myself included, have found a lot of benefit in doing a few of these reps multiple times throughout the day. As I'm teaching and doing this stuff all day long, I end up doing this routine 4, maybe 5 times a day. So just follow your body. If you're more sore the next day, do less the next day. All right. So next up is the Egyptian, where we're going to get into the rotator cuffs deep in our shoulders. Now here, if you run into any snags, make the movement smaller, make the swivel smaller, hands closer to your sides. But the full range of motion of the movement is arms out to the side, and we're going to turn and face one side and turn that side thumb up and then out, so my palm's facing up. Now your back side over here is going to turn thumb down and then also back behind you, so your palm's facing up. And now as I turn to face the other side, I change my hands, both palms facing up on this side, and when I come back to the other side, that's 1 repetition. And as we do this, you'll feel this deep rotation happening inside of your shoulders. Again, if you run into any snags, make it smaller, take it down low, don't move the hands quite as much. But we're trying to find this rotation happening all through our shoulders. You might feel it in your arms and your shoulders and your fingers, in your forearms. It's all connected. All right, last thing for our shoulders are arm circles. So this one, we're just going to try and find whatever is the biggest circle your arms are happy to make. If you have any kind of rotator cuff issues, you might start with this one. This is the first thing that you'll do in physical therapy with some rotator cuff issues. You just let the arm hang. Feel that we want flow, we want motion happening without irritating any of those structures that are already irritated. So you can start there, and we can go however big you want to, all the way up to a big sort of like backstroke swim move. However you want to do it, you can do them both at the same time. You can alternate. Just find the biggest circle that your shoulders are happy to make. Do it a few repetitions one way, and then we'll go back the other way. Whichever way you went, we'll go back over the other way. All right, that's our top half of our body. Now we're going to start working from the floor up, starting with ankle circles. Now this one can be done, you might want a hand hold, draw circles in the toe, or draw circles in the air with your toe. You can do it that way, one way and back the other way, or a little bit more advanced, be gentle on your knee. If you do this version, you can use the floor to kind of pry your ankle and your toes through their range of motion, right? Be easy, feel that around. You might hear some little snips and snaps coming out of my foot there, right? We're trying to find that range of motion that our ankle and our toe can go through one way and then go back the other way. Whichever way you went, take it one way, take it back the other way. And then we'll go on the other side, right? Either drawing circles in the air with your toe or using this more advanced ankle circle type move. One way, Then we'll go back the other way, just feeling out all those little bones. There's a lot of bones, I believe 26 of them from the ankle down, and they all move. We want them all to be able to move as much as they are supposed to. All right, next up, knee circles. We're going to bring our feet together, put your hands on your thighs, and push your hips back while you bend your knees. Slide your hands down to your knees. Now, if you've ever had any kind of knee replacement or operations, or you have knees that are prone to irritation, you might just get into this position and imagine this move and start small, starting very small. This is enough. This is more than enough. Little bitty moves. This can become a big, big circle. If you go and watch the Kung Fu guys, they do this as a part of their warm-up, and it gets pretty wide in the circle. Just start where you are. Don't go too far too fast. Just trying to find a little bit of movement one way, and then we'll take it back the other way. As with all of these moves, err on the side of less range of motion. This is not about grinding or really trying to make the biggest circle that you can. It's about finding pain-free movement and moving. Okay. After the knee circles, we'll move up to our hips with hula hoop, right? So like a slow motion, very forgiving hula hoop. Sometimes it helps to put your hands on your hips. We're going to push our hips over to the side a little bit and then push them forward, hopefully opening the front of the hip, and then push them over to the side and then push them back behind you. And that's one repetition. So we're bringing this all the way around, feeling this pelvis rotate around our feet. Feel the center of gravity move around your feet and feel the swivel happening inside your hips. We got a lot of small muscles in there, and we want them all to be able to coordinate with one another and move smoothly. When those muscles get really tight and don't want to move, oftentimes our low back or our knees pick up the slack. And that's not what we want. We want everything working together smooth. One way, and then let's go back the other way. We'll always do both directions. All right, then we'll move from hula hoop to belly dance. This one is also for our hips, but it's all about getting our low back, our hips, and our knees, and maybe even our ankles to work together to make this shape happen. But all we have to focus on is what the pelvis is doing. So in hula hoop, pelvis was going around in a circle. In belly dance, we're going to tilt forward to the side, under to the other side. A visual that has helped myself and many of my clients get this movement done is we're going to first off soften our knees to make some space. We're going to imagine that our pelvis is like a bowl of water. Our waistband is the lip of that bowl, and it's totally full of water. And what we're going to do is try to spill just a little bit of that water out the front, right between our feet, and then over one of our toes, and then over the side of our foot, like we're spilling it over there, and then maybe over the heel, and then directly behind us, pouring water out back. And then over the other heel, over the outside of now this blade of the foot, then over those toes, and finally back forward with my pelvis tilted forward. That's one repetition. We have poured a circle of imaginary water all the way around us. So you go tilting forward, tilt to the side, tilt under, tilt to the other side. If you have any kind of low back issues, make this one very small. Right? It can be almost imperceptible here, but we're just thinking. Tilt forward, tilt to the side, tilt under, tilt to the other side, and back forward. We'll go around one way a few times, and then go back the other way. Tilt to the side, tilt under, tilt the other way, tilt forward. Tilting around. All right, one more move for our lower body, and it's called the Cossack squat. Kind of looks like a side lunge, but there's a distinction here where we're going to put our feet a little bit wider than our hips. They can start out just here. This one can turn into a pretty big circus trick if you want. Just start small. What we're going to do is bend into one side and keep that bent leg knee, so that you can see with the camera, in line with the toe. We don't want it to cave in. We don't want it to go too far out. We want that knee, for our knee's health, to track in line with the toe. Once you've got that going on, then our long side foot is going to press down into the ground, activating that inner thigh, pulling you back up to center. One side, knee in line with the toe over here, foot pressing down over there and pulling us back up to center. All right, bend into one side and then stand back up. We're going to bend into the other side and then stand back up. All right, side to side, feeling that integration of that inner thigh, able to become strong as it's lengthening. We want to feel like our weight is still split evenly across our feet when we're in the bottom of this squat, actively pressing down that long side. All right, so side to side is one. I've lost count. Anywhere between 1 and 10 is great. You can do more if you like, if it feels good. Okay, 2 more moves, and they're both for our spine. With all of these moves, we don't want to slam into our end range of motion, but especially with this one, we're just finding a little bit of movement. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what this looks like. Spine flexion extension. So I'm standing more or less in neutral here. Maybe as you breathe out, we'll start going into spine flexion a little bit. I'm going to maybe go pretty far here. You do not have to go this far, just for demonstration. And then when you're ready to inhale, you get tall. You look up, maybe you point your chest up toward the ceiling. This is spine extension. And when you're ready to breathe out again, you're going to curl up. When you're ready to breathe in, become tall and look up. So, not finding your end range. We do not want to irritate the discs. We want to hydrate the discs. The sweet spot for that is finding just a little bit of movement, but not slamming into that end range. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, become tall. All right. We'll go for one more. And after your last extension, just come back to neutral, staying tall, and we'll finish with our final move, spine rotation. So this is keeping our hips more or less center. It's okay if they turn off center a little bit, but this is looking over our shoulder like we did in the Zen 10. But this time we're focusing on all of our vertebrae moving together through their range of motion. So you can look to the side if you like, turn the head, turn the shoulders, feel all those vertebrae work together, and then come back to center, and then we'll look the other way. Turn the head, turn the shoulders, come back to center, and that's one. This is how we will finish our joint mobility 14 moves. All right, that's our tune-up. So aim to do this once a day, aim to do it every day, and if you can't do it any given day, just pick it up whenever you can, whenever you get back to it. You can do it throughout the day, but first thing in the morning is a wonderful time to get this done. I'm typically, in my routine, I wake up, I turn on the water to get the coffee brewing, and then going into the Zen 10. And as you do this, the Zen 10 is going to tune your balance and improve your balance. The Big 6 is going to help you deal with all of life's aches and pains that come around by helping us heal, by moving that body's sewer system, moving that lymphatic system around. And then the Joint Mobility 14 is going to further all of that action, bringing new sort of nutrients and squeezing out the old waste products from all of those sliding surfaces, all of those tendons, systematically all throughout the body, right? So if you would like to know more about these things, Zen 10 is from David Weck. Big 6 is from Dr. Perry Nicholson of Stop Chasing Pain. The Joint Mobility 14 is an adaptation of the routine from Pavel Tsatsoulin's book Super Joints. However you do it, you can add, you can remove, but whatever you do, move your body every single day. Make sure that you do a little bit of tune-up, and you're going to be on your way to preventing and improving any kind of chronic disease process that might crop up. Yako ki, chapisa la chiki.